Hey guys, hope you're alright. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about a bit of news that came out last night really. So some of you may not know, but there's a Libertarian presidential candidate. This is in America. Her name is I don't know how you pronounce it, Jorgensen. But anyway, she made a tweet last night talking about it was saying that it's about police brutality, and she said that stop being brutal against black people, like fair enough. And then she tweeted with the hashtag Black Lives Matter, and this was quite shocking to a lot of people actually, about how a Libertarian candidate would say something like this. And so just want to talk about it a bit really. So the Libertarian Party, American Libertarian Party that is, they've had some weird candidates over the years. Some of you might remember Gary Johnson. A lot of what he said was good. It's like, policies of non-violence. Not convicting for victimless crimes and things like that. And I could get on board with that. But obviously he had a few weird moments. I think he was on quite a lot of drugs periodically. He would he'd like sort of spaz out in like interviews and stuff, and obviously the kind of meme thing about him not knowing what Aleppo was and stuff. That was quite weird. And I also remember he had a really weird moment on he was being interviewed on the news, and he got asked a question about illegal immigrants, and he said, "Oh, that's an inflammatory term, you can't say that, it's undocumented immigrants." He sounded like a college student. And so, that was a bit weird. But anyway, he lost, got like 3% of the vote or something, which wasn't too bad for a third party, but, he was never going to win. And this cycle, 2020, it's Jo Jorgensen, or however you say her name, and started off similarly, really. She'd said a lot of things about ending qualified immunity, which that makes sense. That's pretty fair libertarian value. Police in America shouldn't have excessive powers over citizens and stuff like that. So that's fair enough. And again, she's talking about releasing people and not convicting for victimless crimes and stuff. That's great. Proper, good libertarian values, fair enough. And then she comes out with this yesterday, and it's just like completely out of the blue almost. And because beforehand, she talked about police brutality in general, like, it's affecting everyone, because it can affect everyone regardless of your race, and you don't need to buy into the identity politics about it to make a valid argument, against police brutality. It's just, it's just childish, really, if you do introduce identity politics to it, to be honest. So she made that post, and again, she sounded like a proper SJW, and it was quite shocking, really, because the Black Lives Matter movement, I mean, I've talked about it before, but, so many people in it are just really racist and violent and, just obsessed with identity politics, want to destroy capitalism, which is weird, it's a weird movement for a libertarian to get behind, being against the free market and stuff. And, it was just pretty astonishing that she would make this tweet effectively in support of Black Lives Matter. And now this does bring up a point, in her defence, it could have just been a very naive sort of moment where, she was more agreeing with the statement Black Lives Matter rather than the movement itself. But I think, especially if you're, a public figure like her, you're very much in the know of what that actually means and what people, will interpret it as when you say that. So I don't think she just meant the statement itself. And a tweet was uploaded to her account afterwards, sort of trying to clarify that a bit, saying, I agree with the statement Black Lives Matter rather than the quote organisation. And fair enough. But I was talking to someone about this earlier, and apparently the first tweet was uploaded by her directly. It wasn't by one of her Twitter handlers. But the second tweet, sort of trying to clarify, it's the word itself, or the words themselves, not the movement. That wasn't actually by her. That was by one of her Twitter handlers. That's quite weird. But so it basically it does seem like she is trying to buy into identity politics. I don't know whether that's to try and get some younger lefty voters, you know, like the Antifa type, to vote for her or whatever, because, you know, obviously Joe Biden's a bit moderate. I think, you know, she is really sacrificing libertarian values by doing that, because BLM is not libertarian. Like, I get it, you know, it's slightly anti-establishment, although they kind of do control the establishment, you know, Netflix, Ben and Jerry's, you know. I'm just trying to think of all the corporations, really. Like, they've bowed down to BLM, so, you know, they are the establishment anyway, and they're certainly not libertarian. Like I said a minute ago, you know, they're against the free market, they're pro-identity politics, you know, they don't seem to care about the initiation of the use of force. In other words, they're violent. So yeah, it seems like she's really compromising libertarianism by doing this. So yeah, that's a right pain. You know, that's really, really disappointing, I guess you could say. And so then the question comes, really, you know, what are we gonna cancel her or whatever? You know, and from, you know, the other side, I don't know. Just like, you sort of just gotta wait out. I certainly think, you know, we should have a conversation about this, because I've been talking to a lot of people about this tweet, and yeah, people seem to be very divided on it. A lot of people saying like, oh, well, you shouldn't just, like, you know, go and vote for Trump because she said Black Lives Matter or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I get it, but, you know, when you say stuff like that, again, like, are you actually a libertarian? But yeah, a lot of people were just saying like, oh, you don't think Black Lives Matter, so you're a racist. And, well, you know, it's obviously set up to, you know, that's the reason their organisation is called that, because if you say you don't like it, you know, it makes you sound like you don't think Black Lives Matter, which is obviously completely untrue. So yeah, it's a bit right pain, really. Not pain, but yeah, it's just, I mean, honestly, it's quite disgusting, really, that, you know, someone, you know, who leads a movement of people who are meant to be really free thinking, you know, critical, what's the word? Yeah, just critical thinkers, sorry. Yeah, to buy into an organisation like that is, yeah, it's really disappointing. Yeah, I think, like I said, you know, she was getting off to a good start, you know, promoting libertarianism and completely, you know, not really talking about identity politics at all. But yeah, it just seems she's kind of sacrificing her principles. You might say it's in a trivial way, you know, it's just a tweet, but, like, is it just, I mean, yeah, it is just a tweet, but, you know, that's, it's symptomatic of, like, you know, what her beliefs are, and, you know, what she'd actually do if she was elected. And yeah, I just think, you know, someone trying to lead a free-thinking movement, you know, that's pro-free market, anti-violence and stuff, you know, against the initiation of use of force, it's really, yeah, it's really disappointing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think she was right to post that tweet or not? You know, do you think that you know, that movement has been compromised now? Yeah, let me know what you think. Please do like and subscribe, because as you can see, I'm still an incredibly small channel. Yeah, and have a nice day. We got a bit of sun for a few days, so yeah, just try and get out and about. You know, enjoy the weather. See you guys.